Okay, there is this issue when installing SSL with some WordPress theme, and it's one issue that we go through every now and then. So I thought to share a solution to how that can be solved, and that is you installing SSL certificate on your site, and your site will definitely load HTTPS, but you won't get a secure padlock. And terrible right now, Google will flag that site not secured. Just like what we have on our screen here, you can see this site is not secured. But if you check the URL, you realize that this site is loading HTTPS. So as you can see, the secured padlock went off, but the site itself is, as you see here, is loading HTTPS. So how can we solve this problem? There could be several issues that could have caused that, but one of the first things you can do to diagnose what the issue could be is for you to go to a site called whynopadlock.com. Yeah, this is whynopadlock.com. Usually is always a problem with mixed content, and you can just plug that in for you to be sure, but I really do not use this all the time. What whynopadlock will do is to run a scan on your site for you to discover what exactly could be causing this issue. And let's see what whynopadlock would have to say about this. But in the meantime, before we get results from, okay, the result is out now, and you can see that whynopadlock can identify that there's a Let's Encrypt SSL certificate, and you can see that our website is not forcing the SSL, and we can see some issues. Domain is matching this, and we have some mixed content on our website. So our site is not forcing SSL. It means that this site can load on HTTP and HTTPS, which is not good. We have to force it to HTTPS, and also look for some mixed content and remove them basically from the site. So now let's go back to the dashboard of this website. The back end of this site is loading HTTPS and is secured, but the front end, it won't come up. The best way for us to force SSL is to install a plugin. Let's search for really simple SSL. Okay, so we have this plugin. This plugin has 4 million active installations, and that is signed as a very good plugin. So let's install, and then we activate as well. So the first call from really simple SSL is for us to go ahead and activate SSL, and that we shall do. Okay, right now we'll be required to sign in back. But before I sign in, let me check now to see if this site is loading HTTPS. Okay, as you can see that this site is loading HTTPS, yet we still don't have the secured padlock. And now let me sign in back. Ideally, after forcing SSL, our site should come up with a secured padlock. But in case, you have to take note, in case you are using Elementor plugin, like I'm using Elementor here, in case you are using Elementor, you may need to do this as well. So 301 redirect, yes, let's do that, and let's save. Either HTTPS or not, every call will be redirected to HTTPS, which is good for security sake. We don't want anybody accessing our site over HTTP. Google will still see them as two complete different websites altogether. So it's best you have just HTTPS running on your website. So when that is done, let's come to Elementor and let's come to tools. If you are using Elementor, take note of this. But if you are not, your site should be loading a secured padlock right now. In case it is not, I will still show you exactly what you can do. So the first thing we are going to do is to replace URL, and that is to replace the HTTP with the HTTPS. So now let's copy the URL So that's the HTTPS, and this will be HTTP. So let's replace URL. Okay, now that's done. Let's come back to general. Let's regenerate files for CSS, and let's also sync a library. Okay, now let's check our site. All right, so after that is done, we still don't have a secured padlock. So anytime we're faced with situations like this, is always a problem of mixed content. It means that there are some content on this site that is still loading HTTP and is conflicting with HTTPS. So we have to search every content on HTTP on this site and replace them with HTTPS, and that's what we have to do to make sure that this site is secured. But there's an easy way to get that done. Let's search for a plugin. Better replace plugin. Okay, the name of the plugin actually is Better Search Replace. So let's install this plugin. We activate it as usual. Let's come to tools, and then we see Better Search Replace. So what we're going to do right now is to search for anything that is HTTP. So we're going to replace them with HTTPS. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, just before we continue right now, I want you to note a warning here that you should make sure you back up your database before using this plugin. So before you run the replace that this plugin will do, ensure that you back up your database, because there is a possibility that your file might be broken somewhere or error can happen in the database, and that can break down your site. So make sure you back up your database, and if possible your files as well, so that in case anything happens you can restore back to default. If you don't have a backup of your database or your files and you don't know how to get that done, you should see a link somewhere or in the description below right now for you to be able to do that with a simple click of a button. Before you run this, please ensure that you do. I don't want to be responsible for a broken website. So we can continue, right? Yeah. And now we can select everything here. Case sensitive by default. Okay, that's good. If left unchecked, all database column title, this will be skipped. Fine. Then what we can do right now is to run as dry first, and then once we run as dry, it means that the run will just show you those mixed content. After you see them, then you can now actually replace them immediately. But for the sake of this tutorial, I don't want to waste so much time. If you're on your money site, your live website, I would not advise you run immediately. Run as dry first before you actually replace. But this is a tutorial. I don't want to waste so much time trying to run as dry first before now doing the replace. So just search and replace immediately. Okay, this is the report. During the search and replace, 17 tables were searched and 17 cells were changed in 17 updates. So now we've made some changes. So let's check our site to see if, so bingo, as you can see, this site is loading SSL and we have a secured padlock already. So you can play around it. You can try the first step. If it works for you, if you have your secured padlock, that's fine. Let's check other pages to see if there are still some site that is not having the padlock. You can see the about page loads fine, the programs page loads fine as well. Let me check the contact page and see if it loads fine too. Our contact page also loads well. So basically I think this is exactly how you can force SSL on your site after installing an SSL certificate and you can't find the green load padlock. You just have to try and play around all of this. In my many years of designing websites, I have never had any case where it has gone beyond all the steps I've done in this video for me to get a secured padlock. So you can experiment with all of them. In case you still have issues with securing the secured padlock on your site, you can drop them in the comment section below. Come on, please give me a thumbs up. I would appreciate that. If you have been able to solve your no secured padlock issue, then let me know in the comment section below. Just show gratitude. I will appreciate that so much. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.